What's up, Godzilla fans? Samson West here, and I have another new exciting Godzilla figure review for you today. Okay, so today's figure review is going to be on the Falchion kit Ebirah, 1966. Alright, so yes, this is the Falchion kit Ebirah 1966. This is a kit that I put together myself. I bought him off eBay years and years and years ago for a pretty okay price, I think. I paid about $70 for him. He came in the box with the instructions, and I put him together myself, and I think that I did a pretty okay job for an amateur model kit builder. I am not a model builder. I don't really do that at all. That's why I buy figures instead of kits. And as for the paint job, I sent him off to Kaijuzoo.com, and John Groff did an amazing job of painting this guy and making him look exactly like the figure did in the movie. So that's just a little bit of history behind this guy, how I got him and how he came to be. As for the figure itself, I call it a figure instead of a model kit because it's actually made out of vinyl. So that makes it more of a figure to me than it does a kit. Because when I think kits, I think of like hard plastic or resin, and that's not what this guy is, so I call it a figure. Now it's time for one of my favorite portions of the review. It's time to talk about detail. So as you can see, the detail on the face is very well sculpted. It just looks just like it did in the movie, and I'm extremely pleased about that. And the sculpting of the body looks equally as impressive. You have all the little fibers on the underbelly of the figure that make it look like he's hairy, just like he was in the movie too. And of course, you've got to admire the spikes on the back of this thing, because they just look amazing. Look at that lobster tail. It's almost succulent enough to eat, but I can't do that because it's made out of plastic and I know better. And you have to admire the sculpting of the claws on this thing because they are done just perfectly. You have the left claw, which was smaller and sharper and long and pointy, and then the right claw, which is big and powerful and massive and just all around awesome. And the entire figure has that clear, glossy coat to give it that fresh out of water look. Now, for articulation on this guy. It doesn't have many points, but it has some points that I like a lot. Now, one point of articulation is his giant stabbing claw on the left, his big skinny one that he eats people with, and then on the right, his giant whacking claw. You can go and he can just smack a boulder towards Godzilla. And the last point is just the tail, which it doesn't move all that much. It's just meant to be a piece that fits into place since this was a kit. So, yes, those are all the points of articulation on this guy. Okay, let's go ahead and scale this sucker up with some other figures. Alright, so my first figure that I'm going to bring out today is going to be my Marmot Kit Godzilla 1966. Now, for those of you that have seen one of my earlier videos, you saw that I got this guy in the mail not too long ago. I sent him off to be painted by my friend David Dopko. He does an amazing job at painting and sculpting figures. He's a professional kit builder, unlike myself, and he made this Godzilla just come to life, and I'm extremely pleased with that. But we're supposed to be talking about the Ebirah here. So, the giant crab, as you can see, or lobster, excuse me, looks pretty good next to the Godzilla. He may be an inch or two out of scale, but that doesn't really matter that much to me. I think that they look great next to each other. And now, for another excellent Godzilla figure that I have to compare with this guy, let's bring him out. Here is my X Plus Godzilla 1966. Yes, I am so happy to have this figure. He looks amazing next to the Ebirah. But I'm being biased because I love X Plus toys all around. But, I mean, look at the guy. Godzilla was a little bit bigger than Ebirah in the movie, so you can't lie and tell me that this doesn't look excellent. They fit in perfect scale with each other, and I could almost cry on camera. But let's go ahead and talk about the next figure before I start doing that. He just looks so cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and bring out the next figure I'm going to compare Ebirah with. Here is something for you 6-inch collectors out there so you can know exactly how big this figure is. Here he is, the Bandai Godzilla 1965. Alright, so you can obviously see that this does not work at all, but 6-inch toys typically don't tend to fit in scale with any of the figures that I have. I'm a big 9-inch collector, so... Anyway, yeah, this does not work, and if this is how Ebirah was compared to Godzilla in the movie, he would have been dominated. Well, maybe not, because Godzilla's pretty damn badass. What am I saying? I'm a Godzilla fan. I can't say Godzilla would lose. That's blasphemy. So yeah, Godzilla would win no matter what, even if he was this small. That's the fact, and that's what I'm going to stick to. Now, for the final figure I'm going to bring out today, it's going to be just a little show for old versus new. Here he is, the Marmot Monster Heaven Ebirah, 2004. Aw, look at him. He's an actual little shrimp. So, yes, here's Final Wars versus not Final Wars. And as you can see, Final Wars is smaller than the 66 Ebirah, but there's actually no telling how big they were supposed to be compared to each other because, you know, they were never actually next to each other in any timeline. But I'd like to think that the 66 one is bigger because he's badassier. So yeah, here's Grandpa and Grandson, or Grandpa and that nephew that he doesn't really like all that much, but he has to love him anyway because he's part of the family. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this guy a score. I would definitely have to give this figure a 9 out of 10 because detail is definitely spot on with the sculpt of the actual kit itself and the paint job that I got done by John Groff. And articulation is very well done in this guy too, just both the big claws can move. And sizing is pretty much perfect. It fits in scale with pretty much all your 9-inch scale figures like Marmots and X Pluses, but not so much with my 6-inch figures, which that seems to be the way that all of my figures go. I have a lot of 9-inch toys. So, alright, I guess that's all I really have to say about this guy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. So, thanks for watching, and sayonara.